ankle, leg drag, single ankle, leg drag, similar concept, turning the hips away. It's just that we don't, we're challenged with a different setup, right? We're not able to hit the knee and drag, so we have to, or we're not able to control both the ankles, so we have to hit the knee and drag. A little quote that I live by is, when in doubt, leg drag, because in my opinion, you're able to leg drag from pretty much any position in jiu-jitsu, right? Any passing position. So that said, let's talk about some passing combinations. We've looked at 2 guard passes this week. On Tuesday, we did the leg drag. Last night on Thursday, we did the bullfighter or the Torreando pass. We're going to combine these passes together. So, in my opinion, if you want to be good at guard passing, you need to have at least what we call an A-B option, meaning I have one thing I try. If that doesn't work, I go to my B option. If my B option doesn't work, I go back to my A option. Of course, eventually you want to have an A, B, all the way up to Z option, but we start simple, right? A, B. So we're going to go leg drag bullfighter, and then we're going to go bullfighter leg drag, okay? So let's start off first with the leg drag to the bullfighter. So we're going to do the double ankle variation because that's the simple one, and that's what we were working on Tuesday. So I'm controlling both of his ankles. I notice that he's turning with me. So I start to drag here, and I step up. Everything's looking good. But now, here's where the problem comes in. As soon as I get into this position, my opponent is going to do a little bit of a calf curl, lifting his hips, and he's going to start creating this frame here with his knee. Okay, so now he's turning this lever into another frame by putting his shin back in my path. Okay, so again, I'm here, I drag, he's turning that shin down into me. Now, the problem is I can't move into leg drag now because I'm running into a frame. So all we're going to do is I'm going to let go of his ankles, and I'm going to get my hands right here. One hand on the hip, one hand on the knee. I'm then going to start doing my Torreando pass like we worked on last class. So I'm going to start turning my body, dropping my shoulder down, and then finishing the bullfighter. Okay? So we're always looking for the trigger. Right? What I mean by that is we're always looking for the thing that's going to tell us what to do next. I don't necessarily go into passing with, I am going to do this pass, because it's never that simple. It's always, I'm going to try this, but what movement are they going to use to defend that? That movement is going to set up my defense. So we're always preparing ourselves for guard retention movements. So we're here, I'm turning, I drag, he's turning that knee in. He's creating a shin frame here. So I'm going to abandon the leg drag and block his hip and his knee. Last class we were talking about controlling both of the knees. And this is fine for the initial entry into the bullfighter pass, but because this knee is starting to turn in towards me, I need to block that. So I'm actually going to keep my hand on his knee or his hip here, kind of like with the knee cut. So again, if you weren't with us last night, all a bullfighter pass is trying to turn his knees away from me and walk around his legs as I get essentially to the same finishing position we did for the leg drag. So I'm going to be kind of dropping my shoulder down here and getting around his legs, and then I immediately control his hips. Okay? So this training combinations can actually be a little bit tricky because it takes a good training partner to help you feel what it's supposed to feel like, because they need to do the correct reaction. So the bottom person, I want you to react the correct way. So let's look at that again here, how we're going to react. So I'm starting the normal leg drag like we did last class on Tuesday. I drag his legs. I step up. Coach Seth turns, like he wants to turn in and face me. And he's going to take his, in this case, left leg, and he's going to put his shin in my path. Okay? As soon as he does that, I get my hands in, and I'm going to start turning around his legs and finishing the guard pass, okay? Once I'm here behind him, if he's turned all the way, I set up the back mount, more control, of course, or just focus on controlling the hips, okay? So let's go ahead and do it from a different perspective so that way you guys can see how it looks. So we're controlling, he's turning in, I go for leg drag, he's blocking me with his shin. So I'm letting go, blocking on his hips, and now I need to disconnect a little bit, okay? If I'm too close to him still, then I'm just gonna be running into his knee. So I wanna disconnect a little bit. That way I can get around his legs a little bit easier because I literally have more wiggle room to move. Okay, guys? So I'll show one more time without talking. Here we go. and then I'm finishing with the Torreando out of the leg drag. One last quick note, it is not wrong by any means, if we go back here to the leg drag, when he defends, it's not wrong for me to try to push this knee away. It's just going to be more difficult to do because his body is already turning into me. So now I have to compensate for that and try to push his leg all the way over greater than 90 degrees. What we did last night was his legs were essentially 90 degrees and it was easy for us to push the knee away. In this case, because his knee is pointing at me, now I need to push his leg even more than 90 degrees. So it's an uphill battle. So in case you were wondering why we're not pushing this leg away from us like we did last night, that's the reason why, okay? Because it's gonna be an uphill battle to try to get it over there. So that's why I'm just gonna hold the hip down and then focus on getting my body around his knee and then coming in. Alrighty guys, any questions? All right, go slow with this one, making sure when you're finished, we're not slamming the shoulder down, but we are trying to get our shoulder heavy on them and then finishing behind them, okay? I'll show it one more time nice and slow. I'll do it from your perspective. Here we go. Alrighty guys, on to 1, 2. Okay, so if you weren't with us when we did the bullfighter pass, this is obviously gonna be very difficult because we spent an entire class learning just about the bullfighter. So now we're putting the two passes together. So if you're a little bit confused, it's all good, no worries. We're just gonna go through it step by step. So a couple things that I was noticing. The entry was good, okay, partner was defending. As soon as he's defending, I'm immediately gonna get my hands into this position. I wanna deny him the high leg here and block this frame. I can push this leg out of my way, okay? We're always able to do that, provided that we're able to push the leg away. If he has a really tight knee-elbow connection, I need to change my orientation. It's just like we addressed with frames. I either get under the frame or I change my orientation to the frame. So in this case, I'm changing the orientation of the frame. Now, some of us were here and we just sat on our knees and went to hug their head. His guard is still pointing at me. The danger of that is if I don't know how to hug and create good pressure, he's gonna re-guard. So what we wanna do instead is as soon as we're here, and I finish my pass, I want to walk back towards his legs. So now I'm collapsing his legs and turning his knees away from me. It's going to be way more difficult for him to come back and re-guard. Now I can start either leg weave, whatever you want, turning the corner and walking towards his head. Okay, now, if that one was difficult for you, this one won't be as difficult. This is actually my favorite guard pass combination. This is my preferred AB option. Bullfighter to leg drag, okay? I use this all the time. So, again, if you weren't with us for the bullfighter pass, we're gonna start with that. So it might be a little tricky, but we'll look at it. So in the gi, we were grabbing the pants. In no gi, there's no pants to grab. So I'm gonna be cupping the knees, okay? Both hands here, C grips on his knees. So just like we talked about last night, in a bullfighter pass, I'm looking to turn the corner and frame and push his opposite knee away from me. Now, I would like to get around this knee and finish the guard pass like we did last night, where I come here and I finish, everything's good. However, perhaps this person has a really good knee-elbow connection and they're framing really hard against me. Well, we dealt with this last night. We dealt with the frames. We dealt with exploiting the opening in the knee-elbow space. But if I'm here and I don't want to do all that, I'm just going to walk back and go to leg drag. So I'm simply walking and putting myself into the leg drag. All right, so again, I'm here, I'm turning the corner, I'm getting the bullfighter, but he's blocking me, he's framing. So instead of just forcing the issue and trying to fall down on top of frames, I'm simply gonna walk my body back and put myself into the leg drag. And now I'm in leg drag, so I can finish the leg drag like we know. Okay, so let's rotate. Your timing is important on this one, okay? Because as soon as I feel that frame, I need to understand the timing because it's a small window of opportunity to walk back into the leg drag. If I sit there for too long, I'm giving him time to set up his guard. So I'll show it from this perspective. Hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. So I'm controlling his legs. I'm turning the corner. I'm framing and pushing his opposite knee away. I've encountered these frames. Maybe I don't want to deal with them. So guys, look at my feet. All I'm going to do is start walking back towards his legs and coming to leg drag. But notice how I'm beating this knee frame as I come down. Okay, I got to get my whole armpit in front of that knee. So we've been working on the leg drag so much that I hope getting here won't be that crazy. or confusing. Okay, let's rotate this way. So we're here, I'm turning the corner, I'm framing, I walk back into leg drag, and then once you're here, you guys can do whatever you want or just reset. Okay, one more time from this perspective. So we're here, controlling the legs, turn the corner, framing the opposite knee away. I've encountered frames. I'm gonna walk my body back in to the leg drag. Okay? This one's way easier, all right? At least I think it is. It's one of the reasons I like it. It's pretty straightforward. As long as I can turn their knees away, I'm always gonna be able to get to leg drag. So play around with this one, guys, and then we'll jump into some drills. Any questions? 1, 2.